to the city streets, we began to feel the fire.
Alright, welcome back to Funny Computer Hub. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to duplicate, delete, resize, rotate, and skew in coreldraw. Let me just open my coreldraw. Remember we are using Corel 2017, Corel 17. Just know that if you are using Corel 2024, everything is still the same. Okay, only that you are going to have advanced features. Let's say for example, if you have gone through the training, the previous training when I taught you about transparency. No, not just really transparency. When I taught you about shadow, yes, shadow, we are able to apply outside shadow, right, glue around our object. But if you are using higher versions of coreldraw, something like, and remember when I was using Corel 2021, you see some effect. Let me just show you what I mean. Let's say I added this rectangle now, and then I add color to it. I come here, add shadow, drop shadow. I'll just move it. Can you see drop shadow now? But if this is the precept where you're going to see a lot of them, okay, then there is another feature that is added on higher version, something like inside shadow. Okay, inside shadow, let me just show you this shadow that you are seeing. Let me select the medium glue. Okay, this shadow that you are seeing that is around this rectangle now, let me select dark color. Okay, this shadow that you are seeing, I can decide to change the color to yellow. Okay, this shadow that you are seeing around this rectangle now, you can make it to be inside the rectangle. Yes, you can make it to be inside the rectangle, but if you observe, there is no option for inside shadow here. If you look at all these places, there is no option for inside shadow. Okay, but if you're using higher version of coreldraw, you will see inside shadow. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying all these things, for you to know that, for you to know that just know that everything is still intact. The only thing is that there will be more features that will be added. There is a design that I made for a client using such effect. Let me see if I can get it. Jota, under Jota, I designed a Jota for a client. What is her name again? Okay, this is it. Let me open it so that you see what I meant. Okay, so just know that practice with this Corel 17. I know the reason. The more reason why I decided to use Corel 17 is because of that double clicking that you always add. When you just double click on your rectangle, it will be easier for you to add the rectangle on your design area. Okay, so that it will not be difficult for you as a beginner, so that as you move on, then navigating the tools, the software is then corridor will not be difficult for you again. So with that, even if you get to 2025 version, it will not be much, it will not be difficult for you. So let me just zoom this so that you see what is being added to this. Let me just zoom it. Can you see there's a shadow that is inside? If you observe, there is no shadow outside, there's a shadow inside. Okay, if I select it now, I select drop shadow, you see that in that. Okay, sorry, there is no inside drop shadow here because we are using Corel 17, but this design now has inside drop shadow already in it. Okay, it has inside drop shadow, but you are not going to see because the effect is not on this version of coreldraw. But if you observed what I just showed you now, if I decide to duplicate this, oh yes, now can you see it now? This is just the sketch duplicate. Let me now zoom in so that for you to see it very well. Can you see it now? So this is inside shadow. Okay, instead of you to just add this shadow outside, you can be able to add it inside. But if you're using Corel 17, just know that you will not be able to see the effect. Can you see? You will not be able to see the effect. Okay, but if you're using Corel 2021 and all that, you will see all these effects that are on this Corel 17, and then you also see inside shadow on this part too, under this preset. Okay, so I believe you understand this very well. Just know that higher versions will also give you the same interface. Everything that you're seeing here, that is how it will be, but only that they will be adding more features, okay, in order to make your design, in order to help you to design very fast. Okay, so that is it. Any version, or let's say you just go over and buy infinite phone let's say Spark 5. If they produce Spark 20, everything that is inside Spark 5 will still be inside Spark 20, only that there will be more features. Let's say the camera now may be more brighter than Spark 5. Do you get it now? So that is how it works. But the more reason I'm using Corel 17 is for you to be able to use it to practice. Just know that nothing is behind. Just the way you add shadow outside, this is the same way you add shadow inside. The only thing is that when you come here, you select inside shadow. Okay, the same thing. If I want to add outside shadow, I'll select it here. Okay, but if it's inside that I want, I'll also select inside from here. So that is it. It's very, very simple. All right, so in today's video we have an amazing thing to learn. Let me read this. We are going to learn how to duplicate, how to delete, how to resize, how to rotate, and how to skew our object, whether object or text. So all this, everything I'm going to do here, I may not be able to do on both sides, but you need to understand that everything I'm going to do here, you can apply the same effect on object and also on text. So let's say, for example, I draw a rectangle. I gave it color. I come here, I write a text. Okay, I add color to it. Remember I went and dropped my text too. Okay, I click pick 2 so that I can be able to add color to it. Okay, I can decide to add both to it. Okay, adding both make the text to be multicam. Okay, so the next thing now is this. To duplicate means to make an object. If it's an object that you want to duplicate, it means like I want to make this object to be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Okay, any number. I can decide to click on this. I believe in the previous tutorial, that is when we are tweaking one or two things, I now showed you how to duplicate, but I told you that I'm going to create a separate tutorial and explain more and show you other ways which you can duplicate. Okay, so the easier way to duplicate is this. The easier way is just select the object that you want to duplicate, come up here. This is not even the easier way, but the first step method is select the object, come up here, you see this copy. This is copy icon, you click on it. I have copied it. Okay, if I move this thing around now, it's still one, right? Okay, so if I click, there is an icon beside it which is paste. If I click on it, can you see now it has made this object to be 2. That means this one is on its own, this one is on its own. Can you see now I've been able to duplicate this object? Okay, the same thing, I'm now going to show you another way using the text. I can decide to resize this text. Remember I've showed you how to resize from this edge. You can only resize the text from here, 1, this one 2, this one 3, this one 4. So other ones that you are seeing, we don't use it, and it's not a good way to resize. These ones that I'm showing you now. Okay, so let's say I want to duplicate this text now. Another way to duplicate is just select the text. select the text, press and hold your left mouse button. Press and hold your left mouse button and move the text around. Can you see how I'm moving it? Okay, I move it to where I want to place the second text, because I'm making the text now to be 2, right? Remember, I'm still holding my left mouse button with my other hand and then use the right hand to move the text around. So first of all, select the text, you press and hold your left mouse button. Remember, mouse has 2 buttons, the one that is at your left hand side and also the one that is at your right hand side. So you press and hold your left mouse button and then you shift it to where you want to place the second one and right click. Right clicking means you press the right button, okay, the right mouse button. Remember, mouse has right and left button. You are using the other hand to hold your left mouse button. You have not removed your hand from it. Then we shall have put this text here. This is where I want to place the second one. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the right button, the right button. I'm gonna click on it. Can you see what happened now? Once I clicked on it, it will now drop the text that I have been carrying. So this is another way to duplicate. You can just take your time to practice this thing. Just select, drag to where you want and then right click. Do you see now? So this is just the easier way to duplicate an object. Another way to duplicate an object is using this method, this first method, but you're going to use the keyboard method. Okay, this copy that I just showed you now, there is a shortcut key. Can you see the shortcut key? Control C. This paste that I just showed you now, can you see the control key? Control V. So we can decide to do it here. I can decide to select this box now. I'll place Ctrl C on my keyboard. Ctrl C. I believe I've been able to explain to you how these keys are being added. If you are asked to place Ctrl C, please don't come and place Ctrl, place plus and then place letter C. No. This plus that is being added there, because this is how you're going to see it even if you are searching online or you pick up a tech or computer textbook. This is how you're going to see it. Okay, you can see Ctrl plus C plus A. That is, it means that you are pressing 3 keys. Okay, this one now is just 2 keys. Ctrl is a key, letter C is a key. So you are not expected to place you are not expected to place plus key, okay, on your keyboard. The more reason why plus is added is for you to know the one that need to be first, and then the one that is the second, then the one that is third, the one that is fourth. Okay, so that is the procedure. Anyone that is first is the one that you need to place first and hold your hand on it. The one that is second is the one that is following the first, so it's the next one that you're going to place and hold. The one that is third is now the next one that you're going to place and hold. So Ctrl C, this means we are going to look out for where our control is on our keyboard. Okay, we are going to look out for where this thing is on our keyboard. You place it with one of your finger, place and hold it. It means that when you put your hand on it, when you place it with your finger, you don't need to remove your hand. Okay, place it and hold it and then use another finger to place letter C. Okay, so that's what we are going to do now. This means copying. I'll just select this, place letter Control key and place letter C. I've copied it, and being that I've copied it, you'll not be able to see it now because it is on what we call clipboard. The more reason I'm explaining this thing is because of those that may not have undergone computer training. But the best thing for you to do is that before you start learning graphics, you should be able to go through basic computer training, full package basic computer training. Even here, I don't encourage people to come and learn graphics without having basic knowledge on computer, because all these things I'm taking time to explain are the things that you should have understood while learning basic computer training. Okay, so while undergoing basic computer training, so but I'm still taking my time so that you'll be able to understand it more. Let's say when you are undergoing that training, you are not able to understand it, so it is also an opportunity for you to understand it more. So I've been able to copy this, right? It's on a clipboard. So the next thing I'm going to do now is this, but here we are not going to click on this, because the first method we use clicking on this first, right, and then clicking on this. But now we are using the keyboard shortcut key. So the shortcut key of this is what? Control V. Remember, this is the one we just did, right? Control C. Then the shortcut key of this one is Control V. I'm going to now place Control V on my keyboard. Remember, we have placed this one. Then I don't need to type it. I just press Control V, press and hold my control. Okay, let me just type it so that you can see. Now I will duplicate with this method, the method that I use on this. I will duplicate this and then change this to letter V. Do you see the easy way now? Do you see the more reason why we use duplicate? Instead of me to start from beginning and begin to type all these things, I just use my mouse and duplicate this thing within a second. Then yeah, true. Okay, so this is for paste, right? Control V. So I'll just, even if I did not select this thing, being that I have not press Control V, it means that the one I've just copied is still on my clipboard. So once I press Control V, so I'll press and hold my control, press letter V. Can you see what happened now? It still selects this one to let you know that it has been pasted. This part now has two rectangles. So let's drag one. Can you see now? This one is on its own. Can you see this one is also on its own? So that is it. That is how to duplicate. So I believe you're really understanding this, right? So the next thing now is how to delete. Sorry, that is the next topic, but I've actually deleted the what I want to delete. Okay, so how to delete? If you want to delete an object, let's say now we all observe that our screen is already crowded. I want to delete this. I want to delete this one. I'll select it. Remember, this is the one I've just selected, because you can see the transform around it, right? So I'll select it and then place delete on my keyboard. You look out for delete key on your keyboard, you place delete. Can you see now? Another way to delete is, let's say I want to delete this particular text. I'll select the text. Right click, place your right mouse button and then look out for delete. Can you see delete? I'll delete. Can you see now? Okay, so that is ways to delete a text or an object. Another thing is how to resize. If you want to resize a text or even an object, it means that you want to make it to be bigger or smaller. So I have to select the object that I want to resize. Let's say I want to resize this object, this rectangle. Now I'll select it first, then come to this edge. Let's say I want to resize this from here. I can resize from here. Okay, I've made it to be a rectangle. Can you see now? I can resize from here. Can you see? I can resize from here. So as far as it's an object, you can resize from anywhere. Okay, but when it comes to text, you cannot resize from anywhere, please. When it comes to text, let's say I want to make this text to be smaller, I can just resize from here. Can you see? I just used the edge. Can you see this edge? So once I place my cursor on this edge and my cursor change to two-headed arrow, then I'll drag it. Either I want to make it to be more bigger, or I'll drag it inside for it to be smaller. Okay, so I can use this edge. I can use this particular edge. I can use this particular edge. I can also use this particular edge. So that is how to resize. Okay, so you can, if when it comes to text, you can also resize by changing the font size. Okay, I can decide to change the font, select smaller size or bigger size. Can you see? Okay, so all the same. Okay, so there's another thing I want to explain to you here about resizing. 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 Okay, resizing. Now I've shown you for rectangle. If you observe this pause, let me just increase it a bit. If you observe this box now that I'm just resizing, if I want to resize this box from here, from this edge now, do you see what is happening? Remember, for me to resize this box, I am still pressing down my left mouse button, because if you do not press down your left mouse button and come here, click here, click here and just want to resize, you will not be able to resize it. But rather, another way to resize is this: if you don't want to press down your left mouse button, what you're going to do is that you're going to come here. Once your cursor changes to this double-headed arrow, you double click. Yes, you double click here. Once you double click here, it means that you can use one hand to resize. You can use one hand to resize. But there's another thing I want to say now is, if you observe this resizing now, it's just resizing my my right hand side and also the bottom part. Can you see it now? The bottom part and then the left hand side, that is the only thing that is resizing now. Okay, can you see what is resizing? Let me now leave it this way. Can you see now? So it's only the left, my right hand side and the bottom side is what I used to make this object to be more bigger, right? But let's say now we want to make this text to be smaller. I can decide to put it inside. Can you see it's also using the right hand side and also the bottom side? But let's say now I want to resize, I want the whole side to be, because if I use this particular side to, it also use the top and then the left hand side. Can you see the marquee separation that is showing us? Okay, so but let's say now I want the both sides, both the right, both the left, the top, the bottom, to be resizing itself. What I'm going to do is this: I'm going to come click anywhere, whether this edge or this edge or this edge or this edge, click anywhere. Let's say, let me use this edge now. Then before I drag it inside, I whenever you want to drag it, being that you don't want to drag with one hand, remember I showed you, if you want to drag with one hand, just come here, double click, right? And then that means you don't need to press and hold your left mouse button again. Okay, but if you're using your left mouse button, that means you just come here. Once your cursor changes to this double-headed arrow, you just press down your left mouse button and then begin to drag, right? Okay, so as I'm dragging now, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to press and hold my shift key. Yes, I'm going to press and hold my shift key. Can you see what happened? Immediately I start dragging. Once I press my hold my shift key, the whole side will start dragging. Can you see now? Can you see the line? Let me now do it outside. Can you see the line? I'm resizing it because I'm making it to be more bigger. Can you see the line now? So obviously it's everything that is resizing. Let me zoom this so that you can see it clearly. Let me reduce this in a bit. Okay, so I want to resize now. I'm pressing down my left mouse button, but at the same time, can you see just the right, the left and the top is what is showing us. But if I press down my shift key, can you see now? I just remove my hand from my shift key. If I press it now and hold down my hand on that shift key, can you see now? So all the sides is what is resizing. All the size is what is resized. So I can decide to remove my hand now. Okay, so all the size is what it is. Let me just show you. Okay, before you remove your hand from the shift key, make sure you have removed your hand from your left mouse button. Can you see now? So you just remove your hand all together. So let me now reduce it and remove my hand all together. Can you see now? So all the sizes are now resizing. All the sizes, you remove all your hand all together. All the sizes are resizing. Can you see? Okay, let me leave it this way. I'll move my hand on. Okay, can you see now? So this is how to resize. I know the reason why I'm taking my time to explain this thing, so that you'll be able to understand it very well. All right, so the next thing we have now is how to rotate. How to rotate. Okay, how to rotate. Rotating means turning things around. Okay, let's say now, remember whenever we, okay, what I just showed you about this object, you can still do it with text. Okay, remember, if you are resizing the text, can you see this one is still where it is? Okay, but it's just this one that is moving. Can you see now? Okay, the same thing. Let's say now I make this letter P to be on this line. Okay, so if I'm dragging inside, can you see now the letter P is still on the line? Do you see now? So even if I'm making it to be more bigger, the letter P is still bigger, but it's also on the line. But the letter B, this last letter, is the one moving. Okay, is moving from its position to another position. So let's say I want to move all sides, both this side, top and bottom, the same thing we did here. While resizing it, I press my shift key. Can you see now? Letter P is no longer on the line. Can you see now? So that is it. So how to rotate. Rotating is just like, if you select this object now, you can see a transform, these points that are around it. Okay, we call it transform. If I just click on this object, what you're going to see is transform. But if I click two times, if I click twice on the object, the transform that you are seeing now will change to another transform. So let's check it. If I just click once, click again, can you see what it's showing us now? Can you see this? This thing is not the same with this one. Can you see? So we have this thing is the same with this, it's also the same with this, it's also the same with this. So this one is the same with this, the same with this, the same with this. So it's obvious that we are seeing two different transform on this object. So this one is what we call rotate. If you want to rotate, you just come here. Once your cursor changes to this icon, to this sign, you just press and hold your left mouse button and then move your mouse around. Can you see now? I can decide to rotate more. Remember, this is not the one we are using, this is the one. So I can decide to use from here, or I can decide to use from here. I'm rotating it. Okay, so anyone that you want to rotate, okay, so that is it for rotation. You have to click twice before you'll be able to see it. Okay, so that is it for rotation. Before I forgot, there is something I want to show you about resizing, but after this I'm going to show you how to resize an image. Remember, to resize an image is not the same with resizing an object. Okay, the same thing, to resize a text is not the same with resizing an object. For this object now, you can decide to resize from here. Can you see? It's not still making any mistake. We are not still making any mistake. It's still just giving us another shape. Okay, but for this text, if you resize from here, can you see now? It will make the text to be shapeless. Okay, so that is more reason. Know that when it comes to text, we only resize from this edge 1, this edge 2, this edge 3, and this edge 4. The same thing applies to image. If you have somebody's image, what I mean by image is picture. Okay, when you have somebody's image, you only resize from this edge, you only resize from the edges. Let's say I added an image here. Let me just add an image so that you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, don't worry, let me finish up with this one, then I will show you more on this image. Okay, okay, this image now, this image that you're seeing now, if I can, you see how I'm resizing it from the edge, from the edge, from the edge, from the edge. Can you see? So I can also reduce. Okay, so if I resize from this particular edge, can you see what is making, what are, how our image looks like now? If I'm resizing from this edge, can you see now, my image has been shapeless? Can you see? Okay, so the same thing, if for example now I reduce this thing a bit and then resize inside, can you see? Can you see now it's making the image to be shapeless? So let's say I resize from here, I resize down, can you see? Or let's say I even resize up, can you see our image is just shapeless? So these are the things that we need to consider. So these are the things that we need to consider. You should be able to know that we don't resize from these points, this point, this point, this point, and this point. Okay, we don't resize on those points. Okay, so we don't resize on this point, this point, this point, and this point. The same thing is applicable on text. Okay, so let me still continue. So we have been able to learn about how to duplicate, how to delete, how to resize, how to rotate. Then the last but not the least is how to skew. There's something we call skew. Remember when I double click on this object, there's something I showed you. This is duplicate, right? Sorry, this is rotate. Then I showed you this. This is what we call skew. Skew. Okay, we call it skew. So to skew it means when you double click, you see this, you can just use it to give it a shape like this, just like slanting your object. Okay, I can decide to slant like this. I can decide to slant like this. Okay, the same thing on text. If I just click it 2 times, you can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, so that is the work of skill. That is the work of skill. That is the work of skill. You can just decide to duplicate. Remember, the way I just duplicated is that I just um move this one to this side and then right click. Okay, I've taught you that. Just make sure that you practice these things. Don't just listen to the video and say, okay, I've been able to understand it without practicing. Just know that it's practice that makes perfect and not learning. Continue learning, continue practicing, and feel free to ask questions. If you're watching from our YouTube channel, drop on the comment section what you grab from this training. Just anything, let's say 1 or 2 things that you have been able to learn from us, or from this tutorial. Just write it down on the comment section, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're yet to subscribe, don't just subscribe and walk away. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Okay, when you click on subscription button, click on the bell. There's something like a bell there. Click on it and make it to be on all, so that anytime we drop an amazing tutorial, YouTube will notify you that we have dropped an amazing tutorial. But if the bell is not on, obviously you are not going to receive a notification from YouTube that we have dropped an amazing tutorial. All right, drop your question on the comment section too. And also, if you have my WhatsApp number, you can also chat me up on WhatsApp for questions. And don't forget to like and share this video. All right, bye for now.